What's going on, everybody? It's McPoon Football here, and we are going to be diving into what every NFL team needs to win their wildcard matchup this weekend. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. It would mean the world to me. And without further ado, let's get started. So first off, we're going to start with the Dallas Cowboys. It's going to be really hard for the defense to thrive the way they have because they are a big play defense and they are not going to get that against Tom Brady. Tom Brady does not throw picks in the playoffs and he keeps his team in games. So Trayvon Diggs might not be felt as much as you would want it to be. Furthermore, DeMarcus Lawrence and Micah Parsons, though great, phenomenal edge rushers, will not have that much of an effect on Brady. Brady is amazing under pressure. We know this. He's been playing for 20-something years, and he's going to be fine. He's faced elite pass rushers before, and he has been fine. So we are going to need to see this Dallas defense really lock it down and force Tampa to field goals over and over and over again, rather than trying to shut them down at the 20 or the 30 or the 50. We need to see them be comfortable getting into field goal range and bending and not breaking. Dak Prescott also needs to have a good game today. He has not had a good game in a while. I'm sure he can though. It's a tough defense. It's a tough defense to be forced to have a good game against. But this is the playoffs. You are going to play tough defenses. And you got paid $40 million to be a franchise quarterback. A franchise quarterback wins these games. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are a worse team on paper. As long as Dak performs, the Cowboys should be able to handle them. All in all, the Dallas defense is going to have to get comfortable being uncomfortable in short areas of the field. And Dak Prescott is going to have to put the offense on his back to really allow the Cowboys to come away with this victory. Next up, we're going to have to see their opponent, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and Tom Brady step up if they want to win this game. Tom Brady needs to find a level of consistency in these playoffs if he expects to get anywhere, and he has not had that this year. None of the team has. They have not been able to show up on a week-to-week basis, and we have no idea what we're going to get from them any given Sunday. That needs to stop, and that needs to start stopping now. They need to come and play their asses off and play their best against the Dallas Cowboys. And if they can do that, they have a real good shot. They have a Hall of Fame greatest quarterback of all time. They have good weapons, a decent O-line, although it's been marked with some injuries this year, and a really, really feisty defense. Defensively, it's really important that Vita Vea gets healthy and is able to play this game at 100%. He is one of the premier run-stuffing nose tackles in the league, and against the two-headed rushing attack of Zeke and Tony Pollard, they really need to make sure they can limit those guys and make Dak win this game. From the Buccaneers' perspective, that's what they want. They want Dak to have to make those throws, those clutch throws, those third and long throws, which he has shown an inconsistency to be able to do in his whole career. Tampa Bay is willing to die by Dak Prescott. They're going to stop this run and make Dak beat them. Next up, we got the Los Angeles Chargers. If the Los Angeles Chargers want to win this game, their run defense is going to have to figure something out and figure something out fast. They are going to be dominated in the ground game if they continue as they've been. They are dead last in the NFL in run defense rankings. However, this might just be a talent and schematic issue and it might not be able to fix. There are still other ways the Chargers can win this game. If the Chargers are going to be dominated on the ground, they are going to have to dominate on the ground back. They're going to have to make this time of possession as equal as possible. Even though their run offense hasn't been that great this year, they still have the players to make that happen. Austin Eckler can always have a big game. Also, Joe Lombardi's passing attack that is heavily utilizing the quick game and has been dogged on all year because fans want to see Justin Herbert let it fly, it actually might serve to their benefit in this game. If they can consistently and slowly move the chains, they can get those minutes back that the Jaguars would otherwise be taking from them. Ultimately, the Chargers are going to want Justin Herbert to have just as many chances as Trevor Lawrence does to score. They are very even matched at quarterback, and the Chargers have to believe that their guy is better and get him in the position to win this game. Now we have their opponent, the Jacksonville Jaguars. As I just mentioned, the Jaguars should have an easy time running the ball, and they're going to need to use that. Doug Peterson is also going to need to force Trevor Lawrence to take the underneath throws all game. The Jaguars' offensive line is nothing special. Meanwhile, Joey Bosa and Khalil Mack will be coming off the edge screaming for Trevor Lawrence's beautiful hair. That means he's going to need to get the ball out of his hands quickly, Tom Brady-esque. And Doug Peterson will definitely implement a heavy dose of RPOs, tight end, and wide receiver screens to let that happen. But when it comes down to it, I want to see Trevor Lawrence getting the ball in most third down situations. Trevor Lawrence is really proving to be something special. a real special talent in this league, and he seems like he is a top 5 quarterback already. If you have a top 5 quarterback, you give him the ball in these situations. You let Trevor win this game. Defensively, they are just going to need to keep doing what they have been doing already. In the last 3 weeks of the season, the Jaguars defense has been awesome, and they have really been putting it on as of late. They started the season poorly, and they've progressively been getting better, which is a great sign for Jaguars fans. This means they have a real good chance of showing up with a better defensive unit than the Chargers. If they can do all these things, they have a great chance of winning this game. Next up, we got the Buffalo Bills. If the Buffalo Bills want to win, it all comes down to Josh Allen. That is it. That is all that matters. Josh Allen, ever since the first month of the season, has not been great. Sure, he's been lighting it up in the passing yards, the rushing yards, the touchdowns, but he has been throwing a lot of interceptions. Not only that, he's been throwing a lot of interceptions that have not been being caught by the defense, which is something you expect to return to the mean. Those could really come back to bite him. However, the last time we saw Josh Allen in the playoffs, he had one of the most incredible playoff runs by any quarterback in NFL history. He was unreal. If Josh Allen can return to this form, they will have no problem making it past this round and probably even the next. Josh Allen last year, when he was playing quarterback in these playoffs, was playing like the best quarterback in the league. If the Bills can get that, they will win. The Bills are also going to need to see Tre'Davious White finally start to play better. He's been having problems ever since he came back from his ACL, and he has not looked like the same player. He's kind of been getting picked on out there. Tre'Davious White obviously has all the talent in the world, and we are going to need it against Tyreek Hill, somebody who he has played against in the postseason quite a bit. Lastly, Greg Rousseau can really be an X factor for this team. Greg Rousseau put up 8 sacks on the year after missing some time. He was projected to go for about 10. He has been a really great pickup for them in the draft, and he has been an awesome pass rusher, the number 1 on their team. Shaq Lawson also always seems to play well against the Dolphins, so if this edge rush can get in, that'll be great for the Bills. Next up, we got their opponent, the Miami Dolphins. Unfortunately for the Dolphins, they are probably going to be led by Skylar Thompson, the rookie with the real hairy arms. It's going to be really hard for them to win this game with the 3rd string quarterback at the helm. However, they still have a chance. They need to get the ball to Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle as much as possible offensively, and it doesn't matter how they do it. Tyreek Hill can take a 1-yard pass 99 yards to the house if you give him enough tries. That speed is unguardable. Jalen Waddle, the same thing could be said for. We're also going to need to continue to use that outside run game with Jeff Wilson. Last time these two matched up, Raheem Mostert dominated in the outside run game, going for almost 10 yards a pop. Unfortunately, he's also going to be out this game, but Jeff Wilson is a speedy running back who can hopefully replicate the same results. Also, if they're running the ball that effectively, it'll be great for them to keep Josh Allen off the field as much as possible. Not to mention, Miami loves to run the ball out of 2 running back sets, and the Buffalo Bills defense has been the worst in the league at guarding those. So if they can do that, it'll be even better for them. Defensively, they're going to have to limit the big play and force Josh Allen to get impatient. He's shown time and time again this year that if the big play is not there, he will force it and throw a pick. They have Xavier Howard, one of the best ball skill corners in the league, and hopefully he can capitalize on some of those opportunities. Additionally, last time they played, Javon Holland dropped 2 or 3 balls that really should have been picked. Javon Holland is going to need to individually step up, catch those balls. I know it's hard because Josh has a big arm, but he's going to need to catch those balls to really be a game changer for this defense. Next up, we got the Baltimore Ravens. The Baltimore Ravens are going to be without Lamar Jackson and probably without Tyler Huntley. That makes this game really, really hard to win. Probably almost impossible. But it's the NFL, it's the playoffs, anything can happen. And if they're going to win, this is how. They're going to need to find a way to be effective with the run against Cincinnati's great run defense. It's going to be hard. It's going to be really tough sledding, but they're going to have to persevere, and J.K. Dobbins is going to have the best game of his life. Also, Anthony Brown might have to get involved as a runner. It's not only that Lamar Jackson is an electric quarterback, but having the quarterback be your runner gives you a natural numbers advantage. So if Anthony Brown can utilize this, albeit not as effectively as Lamar Jackson could, this could really give them an edge. Also, the tight ends for the Ravens are going to have awesome, great games. Mark Andrews is obviously very important to this team's success, but behind him, Isaiah Likely and Charlie Kolar are really going to need to ball out because they are probably the two best pass catchers outside of Mark Andrews on this team right now. Defensively, the cornerbacks Marlon Humphreys and Marcus Peters need to find a way to limit Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. It's going to be really hard for them to do so, but they have the talent to do it. Ultimately, this is a real tough task for the Ravens no matter how you cut it. They're on their third quarterback and it's the playoffs. But if everything goes right for them, they still have a chance. Next up, we got their opponent, the Cincinnati Bengals. The Cincinnati Bengals just made a Super Bowl run last year, and they know what it takes to get there. They still have the taste in their mouth of losing that big game on the national stage. Because it's the playoffs, they're still going to need to be their best to win this game, but they are not going to have to do anything special. They just need to come in motivated, focused, and take care of business. If they play like they've played in their previous matchups, the Ravens will not be able to defeat them. If the Bengals can get up early and control the game with Joe Mixon, it'll be smooth sailing for them. I also like Tyler Boyd to have a big game this week. Though the top two corners of the Ravens are good, behind that, they don't have much. I trust Joe Burrow to be smart like he always is and find the matchups with Tyler Boyd in the slot and utilize those to give the Bengals some success offensively. This game will be gritty no matter how you cut it, but ultimately, if the Bengals don't come sloppy and they come to play, they probably win this matchup 99 times out of 100. Next up, we got the New York Giants playing the Minnesota Vikings this weekend. In order for the Giants to win this game, they need to continue with the excellent coaching that they've had all season. First of all, on the offense, we're going to need to see Brian Daboll get outside of his comfort zone. That means giving his running back, Saquon Barkley, 25 carries this game. Saquon dominated on the ground last time these two met up, even though they lost, but he only got 14 carries. He was good as a receiver too, and they should definitely use him there, but he should have a lot more carries and probably be the focal point of this offense this week. The Vikings' run defense has been really bad this year. They need to take advantage of that matchup. Coming from Buffalo, Daboll is going to be inclined to pass the ball, but he should not do that as much this weekend. The Giants defensive coordinator, Wink Martindale, is an elite DC in the league. He's excellent at scheming up blitzes, and he loves to run cover 0 and cover 1 blitzes. I don't know if he could stay in his comfort zone in this matchup. The Giants don't have anybody that can guard Justin Jefferson one-on-one. Wink is going to have an awesome game, finding a way to bracket Justin Jefferson while still manufacturing blitzes. As long as the coaching gets outside of their comfort zone and does what needs to be done, which is what really marks a great coach in this league, and Daniel Jones takes care of the football as he's been doing all year and does not turn the ball over, the Giants have a real good shot of winning this game. Next up, we got their opponent, the Minnesota Vikings. I think it's fair to say that nobody knows what the Vikings truly are this year. They have awesome games and they have horrible games, and it seems that those horrible games come when they play against good opponents. They've also won 11 one-score games this year, which is unheard of. A lot of people like to rag on the Vikings for that stat, but I think it's impressive. I think it truly means that they have an ability to come together as a team and win these tough games, which is going to be important for the playoffs, and that's what they're going to have to do this week too. The Giants, because of their coaching and their decent quarterback play from Daniel Jones, are actually a pretty even team to the Vikings this year. I think this game is going to be close, but the Vikings are going to have to keep doing what they have been doing and find a way to squeak it out. That's going to come on the back of this guy, Justin Jefferson, and everybody knows that. He is going to be double teamed all game, but can he still find a way to get open as the game's best separator? Probably. If he can do that more often than not, the Vikings offense will be humming. Defensively, Patrick Peterson is going to have to do a better job at locking up Isaiah Hodgins. Isaiah Hodgins is the Giants' #1 receiver, but he's really not that good. He would not be a #1 receiver on any other team in the league, let alone probably a #2. Patrick Peterson, though old, has been having a good year. He needs to dig deep and find a way to contain a worse player. This will work especially to his benefit because Isaiah Hodgins is actually a very slow receiver, so the speed won't matter even though Patrick Peterson is aging. Next up, we got our last matchup of the wildcard round. We got the Seattle Seahawks. Seattle Seahawks are playing the 49ers this week, and they are honestly outclassed on paper. That means a lot of things are going to have to go right for the Seahawks. First of all, Charles Cross is going to have to do a way better job at handling Nick Bosa. It's a tough task for any tackle, especially a rookie one. But frankly, in their last matchup, his play was unacceptable, and it will be impossible for the Seahawks to win if Geno is being pressured that consistently. Cross has had an awesome rookie year and is already playing like a plus tackle in the league. so he has the potential to stop Nick Bosa or at least limit him. We're also going to need to see Geno Smith play the best game of his career by far. He's been lighting it up this year, but he's going to need to have an unreal game to take down this juggernaut that are the San Francisco 49ers. Geno might have to throw for 350 and 4 touchdowns, really getting DK and Tyler Lockett involved. It's hard to go blow for blow with the San Fran offense, but it needs to happen if you're going to win a game like this. And lastly, the Seahawks are going to need to force rookie Brock Purdy to have a bad game. Brock Purdy, though fun, seems to be good for a pick a game, and there are a few balls I've seen from him that should have been intercepted and weren't. The Seahawks can get that one pick a game from him and then catch one of those balls that haven't been picked a game from him, they could very easily finish this game with 2 interceptions, which is a recipe for success. All in all, because the Seahawks are our worst team, they need a lot. They need their quarterback to play well, they need their protection to hold up, and they need some turnovers on the defense. For our final team, we have the San Francisco 49ers. The Niners are an elite team in this league, and they have top talent at every position on the field. Offensively, they have the favorite for the deep boy this year, Nick Bosa, and they have one of the best linebackers in the league, Fred Warner. They also have Eric Armstead up the middle. On offense, they have one of the most dynamic receiving corps in the league and the most versatile running back in the league. They also have the league's best left tackle and an elite tight end in George Kittle. This game for them is going to come down to those stars doing what they do and taking care of business. Similarly to what I said about the Bengals, the Niners don't have to do anything special in this game. They just have to be their best version of themselves. Seahawks are a much worse team without a stacked roster like the Niners have. One thing that really needs to happen to make sure the Niners win this game is their O-line has to hold up excellently. The less pressures the Niners give up, the better chance that they have to win this game, because Brock Purdy won't be forced to make errant throws. Brock Purdy has been fun and he's been pretty good, but ultimately the Niners know that they have to come and win around him and not because of him. He's a third string Mr. Irrelevant quarterback. They need to surround their quarterback with ways to succeed, whether that be from a big screen from CMC or George Kittle, or Ayuk or Debo taking a 10-yard pass 20 extra yards. That could be from short fields created by this defense to give Brock Purdy 1st and 10 inside the 20. All in all, the stars and the other players on this team are just going to have to come and do what they do, get to work and do their thing, and they will win this game. Alright guys, that's the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching. If you got it this far, please drop a comment. I got way more videos like this coming. I'm just starting out and I got a lot of good things up in here. If you have a problem with something I said, or you really like something I said, make sure you comment down below and let me know what I could be better at. Thank you guys. Peace out.